This example is for Lesson 1-3, Example 6. Suppose M is the midpoint of segment FG. Use the given information to find the missing measure or value. And we're given two pieces of information. FM is 5y plus 13. MG is 5 minus 3y. So we need to create an equation using those two pieces of information so I can figure out what y is and then find the length of the segment. So your first thing that you should do here is draw a picture of the situation. I have a line segment with two endpoints, F and G. So label them, put dots, and label them F and G. And then M is the midpoint of FG. So I'm going to put M right in the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. As long as it looks like it's in the middle, that's good enough. This is just for use to come up with our equation. Now remember, midpoint splits the segment into exactly two equally sized pieces. So both segments on either side of M are congruent. And let's finish this by labeling our information here. For FM, I have 5y plus 13. And then between M and G, I have 5 minus 3y. Okay. Now, because they're congruent, denoted by these marks right here and here, that means they are equal length. So this is actually a very easy equation to set up. All I need to do is set these two equal to each other. 5y plus 13 equals 5 minus 3y. And then I solve it for y. Again, get all your y's on the same side, all your numbers on the other side. Try to make things positive. So I'm going to start by adding 3y on both sides to get all my y's on the left side, but they could go on the right side. The reason why I chose the left is because I'm going to end up with a positive number in front of y. And if I subtracted 5y from both sides, I ended up with a negative number. So here I end up with 8y plus 13 equals 5. And then I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides. That's going to give me a negative number on the right, but that cancels out. 8y equals negative 8. And that should be self-explanatory what y is here. 8 times negative 1 would give me negative 8, so y equals negative 1. Okay, but I'm not done. The question asked me to find FG. That means I need to find the length from F to G. Now to do that, I'm going to have to take the negative 1 that I found and substitute it in for y in both of those equations. I don't really need to do both because I know they're both the same length. But I'm going to do that just as a check. So for FM, 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, plus 13 would be negative 8. Or, I'm sorry, positive 8. So I get 8 here on this side. And then just to check the other one, 5 minus 3 times negative 1. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So what I have here is 5 minus negative 3, which is 8 as well. If you don't believe me, check in your calculator. 5 minus negative 3 equals 8. So our total distance is 8 plus 8 which is 16. Okay, on to the next part. Here, we need to find the measure of PR, which is the whole segment from one end to the other, which is denoted by 14x plus 2. Q is the midpoint. Again, that makes this piece and this piece congruent. And then I'm given also an expression that gives me the length from Q to R. Well, since this segment is congruent to this segment, I can just repeat that here. This is 6 minus 3x as well. They're the same. So all I need to do is copy that there. Well, let's go back to lesson 1-2. If I take the two pieces of a segment and add them together, it should be equal to the whole thing. So if I say 6 minus 3x plus 6 minus 3x added to those two smaller segments added together should equal 14x plus 2, should equal the whole segment. So let's simplify everything we have here on the left. In other words, I'm going to combine my like terms. My 6 and 6 combine to make 12. Negative 3x and negative 3x combine to make negative 6x. So that's 12 minus 6x equals 14x plus 2. I'm as simple as I can get. Now I'll start doing inverse operations to get my answer. So first, I want to add 6 to both sides, 6x. Again, getting all my x's on, this time, the right side. Again, I wouldn't want to subtract 14x from both sides because that's going to give me a negative number, and I want to try to avoid that. So that eliminates this 6x, leaves me with 12 equals 14x and 6x is 20x. Plus 2. Now all I have to do is get all my numbers on the other side, so I'm going to subtract 2 on both sides. That eliminates that and leaves me with 10x, or 10 equals 20x. And the last step is to divide by 20. So here, the 20s eliminate, and that leaves me with just x equals, and then 10 divided by 20 is 1/2. If you prefer, you can use 0.5. Alright, the question does not ask me to find x. I have to find PR. So what I do is I take this 1/2 or 0.5 and I plug it into the x in my expression for PR. So 14 times 1/2 plus 2. 4 times, remember, means of in math, so half of 14 is 7 plus 2, well, that equals 9, and 9 is my answer. Good luck on the problem.